this man is a compadre of mine. You can check him on NFL Network, on Twitter also at 89Jones, NTAF. Right? I get that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
NTAF.
NTAF.
Is it okay for me to ask you what that stands for?
That means never think about failure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, because I know what AF means to some people on Twitter, so I just want to make sure. And you can check out James tonight on NFL Network's NFL Power Rankings at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then Wednesday on NFL Total Access at 7 Eastern. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, man.
So we were just chatting in the television-only segment about how you were, what number receiver were you coming out of San Jose State at the Combine?
I went into the Combine the 132nd wideout rated. So which means that I probably wouldn't even been invited to the flag football tournament that was going on NFL Network this past. But I had a very good combine. Came out of the combine number 32. Then after my pro day, moved up to 16th, and I was the 13th wideout taken.
13th wideout taken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have the 12 other ones that were chosen before James Jones?
I have the 2007 NFL
Chris
draft.
Brockman, everybody.
Man.
Okay, second overall pick, Calvin Johnson.
I've heard of him.
We've heard of him.
Okay.
Yes.
Ninth overall pick, Ted Ginn Jr.
Ted Ginn.
Okay, that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
23 overall, Dwayne Bowe.
Yep.
Dwayne Bowe.
27th, Robert Meacham.
Oh, from the Saints, right?
Yep.
The Saints
Yes.
took him?
Saints
Okay.
took him. 30th overall, Craig Davis.
Buster Davis. Yep. LSU.
32nd overall, Anthony Gonzalez.
Anthony
I think
Gonzalez
is
to the
now
Colts.
The
represented.
Colts, yeah. I
Is he
think
in the House of
is he
Representatives,
a
or-
congressman? No, he ran for it. Okay, got it.
44th, Sidney Rice.
Sidney Rice, Minnesota
Rice.
Vikings.
45, Dwayne Jarrett.
Dwayne Jarrett.
51, the other Steve Smith from USC.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Giants took
Steve
him, right?
Smith,
Did the
Giants.
Giants take him?
Went to the Giants.
Right.
73rd, Jacoby Jones.
Jacoby.
Now, this guy, with all due respect, I've never heard of.
Yam-
74th, Yaman Figures.
Jamon Figures. I remember him.
He ran 4.2 at the combine.
I did not.
Me
Okay.
neither.
Well,
Me
I mean,
neither.
over the first,
Me
maybe
neither.
27 yards. I
I'm
did.
right with you,
Yeah,
Rich. Me
okay.
neither.
Yeah.
75th overall, Laurent Robinson.
I remember
Atlanta
him.
Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons from Illinois State. 76th, Jason Hill.
Niners.
Niners from Washington State. And then James Jones, 78th.
Chosen by Ted Thompson
Ted Thompson.
Okay.
Mike McCarthy.
and Mike McCarthy. And then all of a sudden you show up and Brett Favre's throwing you passes.
Brett Favre was throwing me passes.
What was it? Do you remember the
absolutely.
first pass you caught from Brett Favre?
I remember the first pass I dropped.
Okay, I'll bite.
The very first pass, because me and Aaron, when I first got there, we were on the second team. So, I'm catching all the passes from Aaron Rodgers. And then coach said, okay, man, you're going in with the ones. And I'm like, all right, man, this is just catch the ball when it come your way. And the ball looked like it was coming so slow. And it hit my hand so hard. And I batted it down and I dropped it. And in my head, I'm like, he's never throwing me another pass again, man. My first time to just, go out here, catch a pass. Ran a very good route.
Okay.
Threw me the ball.
That's good.
And I dropped it. And in my head, I'm just like, he's never going to throw it to me again.
Did Favre say anything to you? Or?
He just smiled at me. And, as I came back in the huddle, and I'm like, oh, that's the smile. He ain't going to throw it to me again. And in the very next play, he gave me another opportunity and
Okay.
I caught it. So I'm like, okay, cool. He must like me a little bit.
Okay, there you go. See, now, interestingly enough, James Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show is that lost amongst this conversation that McCarthy and Rodgers have irreconcilable differences, that their relationship is broken. That's the narrative that we're seeing. This may be true-ish or not true at all. But to me, they clearly are not happy with each other, I think. That's the way it's. Is that a fair assessment to say?
That's what it looks like. yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Lost amongst all this is McCarthy's the one that took the heat for ending, along with Ted Thompson and everybody else, the Favre era
Yeah.
in Green Bay to hand Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
his opportunity.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's so long ago that it doesn't matter between the two men anymore. Is that a fair assessment?
No, it matters. I mean, and I talk to people all the time because you see what happens on the football field. I mean, they both competitive. They both saying stuff, hand gestures and all this, like they, really don't like each other. But Coach Mike and Aaron's relationship is like a marriage. You've been married for 15 years and you're going to argue. You know what I mean? That's gonna happen. But if your wife is cold, you're gonna make sure she get a blanket. You're gonna make sure she warm. If she hungry, you're gonna make sure she gets some food. And that's Coach Mike and Aaron's relationship. Like, they're gonna bump heads, but they love each other. I mean, you should see these dudes at practice. I mean, they cracking jokes with each other all the time. You know what I mean? Hugging each other all the time. I mean, they buddies. And Coach Mike always said controversy is good. You're supposed to disagree. You're supposed to fight. Family fights. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we love each other. We both trying to win. And I think when you see him and Aaron on the sideline and you see Aaron and him barking back at each other, they're competitive. They're trying to win. They communicate every week. They meet Aaron, Coach Mike every week together. You know what I mean? So their relationship is good. I like it. I mean, because I've been there firsthand and seen how they communicate with each other. And it's not how it seems on TV.
So it's not as bad as what it's being talked about right now.
Not at all.
Huh. Because, you know, Aaron doesn't, they don't even seem to be talking to each other during the game. You know, like, how many times did we see just, and again, we're sitting at home and the narrative we get is all we see from the pictures we see on the screen.
Yeah.
3 and out, 6 and out, 9 and out, whatever it is. No points, 3 points or whatever. Rodgers will just sit down and he'll grab the tablet or not, or just stand there with the helmet on and staring into space, and we're all thinking he's hating life or something.
No, that's because, I mean, all my years playing, him and Coach Mike never really communicate on the field. He goes and sits down. He communicates with the quarterback coach that's on the sideline. He's going to communicate with the offensive coordinator and Coach Mike. So Coach Mike never really comes over there and asks Aaron, what are you seeing on the field? You know, what are you trying to run? Things. No, he goes to the quarterback coach. He'll talk to the quarterback coach. Let's try to do this. Let's try to do that. Then they'll communicate on the headset to Coach Mike. And that's how it's always been. So, I mean, I'm not surprised where, I mean, he'll come off after a touchdown drive or after a 3 and out, after an interception, to come and just sit down because he's talking to the quarterback coach. That's how it's always been. And then the quarterback coach will relay the message.
So then give me the full scope from you, James Jones, because we just had Greg Jennings on yesterday.
Listen,
and Greg has a different approach as to what he thinks the Rodgers Coach Mike relationship is, as you refer to McCarthy.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like it's a true marriage, man. You're going to fight sometimes. You're going to argue. But at the end of the day, when I see these guys communicate during the week and see their relationship during the week, it shows nothing that, man, I don't like this guy or I hate this guy and you know what I mean, I want this guy out of here. It shows none of that. Aaron ain't even came up to us and said, man, I don't like Mike and this and that. And I mean, he comes up and tells us a lot of stuff. Now, he may come up and say, man, we need to try to do this. Coach Mike needs to call this and do that. But their relationship, there's nothing wrong with their relationship. They're both trying to win. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, even Aaron Rodgers took a lot of heat for some of the hand gestures he gives to some of the receivers and things like that. But we know Aaron. We know he's trying to win. We're trying to win. Sometimes we'll give him back. But it's just two competitors trying to win. And like I said, if it was happening during the week at practice where I could see them not communicating, not talking to each other, Aaron over here, Coach Mike over here, but during practice they're talking 24/7, and that's who he stands next to in practice. He'll go over there to Coach Mike in practice and make sure everything's all good.
So what's wrong with this team?
They're not making plays, and it's hard to put it on the coach. I mean, you're losing by 2 points in the Rams game to a very good football team. Your defense has played a very good game. They have 24 points. You're about to get the kickoff. You fumble. That has nothing to do with the coach. It's 17-17. Aaron Jones breaks a 9-yard run. You're in the red zone in New England. You fumble. Then last week, Tramon Williams comes up. He runs up for a punt to catch it. Ball hits him. You know, Aaron Rodgers misses Devontae on a wide open throw. That has nothing to do with the coach. You know, so I like Coach McCarthy as our head coach. The Packers are just not making plays right now, and especially in crucial times of the game where you need to make plays, and that's causing them to lose ball games.
All right, I'm gonna press you on the one major, seemingly wide held narrative about McCarthy is the play calling is just dreadful. I mean, the play calling's dreadful, like on a 4th and inches that they go for a dive, that they aren't scheming anybody open, that it's just like, go get open, and Aaron will just run for his life long enough and make some gorgeous throw that you don't see coming because it's against the grain of his body, blah, blah, blah. Is that a fair assessment then in your mind?
This all happens when you're losing. When you're losing, you got to find something to put your finger on. I remember, I mean,
the idea is that you wouldn't be losing if the scheme was better.
The season we were 15-1. We were blowing people out. we would just line up and we would just play and we would make plays. We lost one game in Kansas City. They beat us up, just hit us in the mouth. And everybody's saying, oh, Coach McCarthy's offense, he didn't move people around. It's the same offense we've been running. You know, I talk to Devontae Adams a lot. He's like, listen, it's not the offense. It's us not making plays. Like, we turn on the film on Monday and we watch these games. It's not scheme-wise. Like, people are open. It's holes that the running back could hit and make some plays. Like, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? We're just not making plays. And even me being in Coach Mike's system for 8 years, it's a very good system, especially for a quarterback and a wide receiver. That's why Aaron, I mean, even though Aaron's great, but he's putting up special numbers in Coach Mike's system. Like, it's a very good system to be in. But right now, they're just not making plays, and that's all it comes down to.
So then the final button on this subject is to Brian Gutekunst and Mark Murphy, you would say what when they have a decision to make? Seemingly, because you know that Packer fans, many
Yes.
would like to see a change at head coach. You
I would say
don't
the
do it.
grass is not always greener on the other side. And I would stick with Coach Mike. I'm looking at our young defense play. They're playing lights out right now. They're playing some ball. Aaron Rodgers and them on the offense are not playing good football right now. They need to score points. They at least should be scoring 30 points every now and then, and they're not. 14 points, 17 points. That's not going to get the job done. I would keep Coach Mike. Change is not always good. I mean, you got a very young team, very young offense. You bring in a new offensive coordinator. These rookies and young guys got to learn another offense with Aaron Rodgers, new signals with Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of like you're starting all over. I would keep Mike. Mike has a good thing going over there. And even schedule-wise, like the schedule Coach Mike has for the Green Bay Packers right now is lovely. A lot of rest, a lot of recovery. It's a very player-friendly schedule. You get a guy come in there like a John Gruden, like I talked to Jordy, that's hard-nosed, you out there at practice. You guys might not respond to that, you know. So
what do you mean about what Jordy's telling you?
Just like, you know, Coach Gruden's practices is real hard, grimy practices. You know what I'm saying? You coming out there, you're in pads, you're hitting each other. You know, it's hard. You know, with Coach Mike, no pads on, you know, recover, get your body back right. You know what I mean? And it's not like that everywhere. So you bring that in, and yeah, sometimes culture change is good, but when you've been used to something for so long and you get changed, you might not respond to it like that. I like Coach Mike. Coach Mike has done some great things in Green Bay, and I hope we keep him.
So we're having not won a game on the road yet this year, and word is this week is that McCarthy frequently lowers the number of stars associated to a hotel establishment with each passing road loss. Are they intense now? Are they in a lean-to right now when they go on the road?
They might be in a Motel 5 right now.
Will Blackman tweeted out, said
Motel
that
5.
he tweeted out in 2008 when you guys lost 4 straight road games, he made sure each hotel got worse. If you want to stay in a nice hotel, he said, quote, win a damn game.
Absolutely, and Will is 100% correct, man. We were staying at the Holiday Inn Expresses, the Motel 5s, and at the time, as players, we're thinking like, okay, you know, it could be some stuff going on. You know what I mean? Maybe might be an NBA game or it could be a concert.
Oh, it was availability. It was based on availability.
So we're like, stuff might just be going on. We used to staying in, you know, the Ritz-Carlton and these 5-star hotels. Something could be going on. And then it kept happening, and we like, what's going on, man? We ain't got no room service. You know, we ain't got nothing over here. And he said, hey, win a game. You know what I'm saying? And things will change.
Is he doing that right now?
No, I don't think he's doing that right now. He might need to, though, because we woke up, we said, look, we ain't trying to get no bed bugs and all that. We woke up and started playing some football. He might need to put him in the Motel 5.
Yeah, I mean, their next road game, let's see, their next road game for Green Bay is going to be at Chicago.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, there won't be any availability problems in the city of Chicago. Some great establishments there.
Yeah, put him in the Motel 5 in Chicago. It'll be cold out there,
and then,
too.
And then at New York, they'll just keep,
So if they win that Chicago game, then you treat them in New York. You put
well,
them
they'll know they're in
night.
trouble for the Jet game if they're staying in Pennsylvania. They'll know that they're in deep trouble at that point in time. Ask the poll question of James Jones, and the poll question is brought to you by House Hunters. Celebrate the season with special holiday episodes of America's Nightly Fix, which is House Hunters, only on HGTV. House Hunters, home for the holidays, just in time to deck the halls and celebrate with loved ones. Surprises you have to see to believe. This new twist on a network favorite will not disappoint. The holiday season. Only one winter house can win this holiday season. Home for the Holidays premieres Tuesday, November 27th, 9 Eastern, 8 Central on HGTV. Ask the question of James Jones, Chris.
Yeah, James, who's the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? Chargers, Patriots, Steelers, Texans themselves.
Oh, that's a very good question right there. I would have to say the Patriots, just because the Patriots have already beaten them. So they kind of know how to play them. They understand them. Nothing's going to catch them by surprise. The only thing is you might have to go play them in Kansas City, but I think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady can get it done because they already have and they kind of know what it takes to get the job done.
See, what I'm saying is the Patriots are the biggest threat maybe to the Chiefs because they have the tiebreak and get the Chiefs on a plane to play an AFC Championship game. Now that would be a big threat to the Chiefs. But I think if the Chiefs get New England there, don't you think the way that the Patriots seem to be playing right now, like if that game was played right now in Arrowhead, I don't think it would be close, personally.
I think it will be close because I really can't see that defense stopping Tom Brady in that offense. Now,
well, the Jets put them.
Yeah, that's division games. Division games are always tough, no matter what the record is. I mean, we used to go to Chicago and we used to be 13-2, and Chicago 1-13, and you come out of there looking at the fourth quarter 7-7. Division games are always hard, but Kansas City cannot stop the Patriots, especially if you got a healthy Rob Gronkowski out there. I don't think they could stop them, so I think the game will be a lot closer than you think, but the Patriots will have to get one or two stops, from Kansas City too, and that's going to be hard too. But this Sony Michel edition is huge for the Patriots. It keeps them balanced. It can keep Patrick Mahomes in that offense off the field, and Tom Brady and them can score some points. I think they're the biggest threat.
Yeah, his 3 100-yard games, the most matches for a rookie of the 3 previous 100-yard games that they've had from a rookie running back of the entire Belichick-Brady era.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player.
He does change the dynamic. What are the results as they currently stand, Chris?
All right, we'll start at the bottom. Texans 8%, Steelers 10%, Chargers 17%, themselves 24%, Patriots 40%.
See, I chose themselves. I know you're putting you're right. No, I hear you. I chose themselves. I think that they're the only ones who can stop themselves.
And you're right about that. I think if they turn the ball over,
that's it,
and hurt themselves, pre-snap penalties, and
2 minute sequence, clock mismanagement, that sort of stuff. Yeah. But when you say Michelle, I mean he's been terrific. So is Nick Chubb. Okay, and the Browns.
The Browns are in very good shape.
Yes,
man.
Well, hold on a minute. The Browns are, as we discussed yesterday, in the hunt. They're in the. Hold on a minute.
Technically.
Peripherally in the hunt.
Okay.
By the way, great album. I don't know who sang Peripheral. What album was Peripherally in the Hunt?
Talking Heads, maybe?
It could have been Peripherally in the Hunt was a great, Roxy Music, maybe, right? Doesn't that sound like a little Roxy music? At any rate, we went down a wormhole there. Sorry, James. But what did you think of the Baker Mayfield handshake stuff? Everybody's got a take on it. I'm wondering what you thought.
I mean, I'm good with the handshake. Like, okay, you don't want to come in for the lovey-dovey stuff and all that, you know what I mean? But, it let me know the relationship that him and Hugh have. But I just wanted him to come on the podium and say, listen, me and Hugh's relationship wasn't like that, or that's between me and Hugh. You know what I mean? And not answer the question. But you can't come up there and say, well, he left Cleveland and went to – he got fired. You know what I mean? And usually when you get fired, you go looking for another job. If somebody offers you a job, you take that job. Players get cut all the time, come back, play their former teams. All their teammates want a jersey, swap and all that. You showing them love. You know what I mean? So it's not like you just walked out the building and said, I quit. You guys stink. I'm out of here. I'm going to Cincinnati. So I just wish you would have came up after the podium like, that's between me and Hugh. You know, or look, me and Hugh's relationship ain't like that. I shook his hand. There it is there. You know, you ain't got to be best buddies and giving hugs and all that.
I don't know. I just think he's of a different generation, though, James, and he's also feeling it. And I think what he's about is being himself and being genuine on behalf of the people in the locker room. That's the way I took it to mean that he and the folks in the locker room thought that Hugh might not have been all in, or Hugh was about himself a little bit as much as Hugh was about the team, or at least that was the sense. And so when he was asked a direct question, he wasn't going to give you the usual, you know what, that's between me and him.
Yeah.
And he might get there at some point of his quarterbacking career, but right now, at this moment, he's feeling dangerous.
Players know the motives of a head coach. Players know. So
You can
if Hugh,
sense that.
absolutely.
That's the way I took it.
So if Hugh was in there and he's, giving this message but doing this, I mean, players definitely can sense that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like, that showed me the relationship they had, and that showed me that they did not have a good relationship.
Yeah, but you could see it was an extended handshake.
Mm-hmm.
And Hugh was going in for the hug.
Yeah, he was going in, and Baker said,
so
"Hold
he
yourself."
he kind of saved it. He kind of used, you pointed out yesterday, Chris, with the head tap. Because he went in for the hug and realized he wasn't going to get it. So with the extended hand for the hug, he just tapped him on the head.
Yeah, that's a
nice move out of Hugh.
I wish Hugh was like me. I shook no one's hand after the game, whether I knew you, whether you went to San Jose State.
Why?
I darted off the field to the showers every single game, home or away. I'm just like, man, if you got my cell phone number, you could call me. You know what I mean? But I never was like, I'm finna go over here and shake everybody's hand after the game.
No jersey exchange?
When Coach Mike came in the locker room, I was already showered, ready to go. Like, so most of the times I beat the media out there. Like, a lot of times they had to like grab me and say, no, you have to talk today, James. You know what I mean? But it might come in there, he give his speech, win or loss, and I'm showered already. I just got to toss my clothes on and get up out of there. By the time the media comes in there, I'm already out, me and the family on the highway.
So no jersey exchange, no nothing?
Well, Green Bay, you can't jersey swap.
What do you mean?
Our jerseys are not really Nike jerseys. Our jerseys have the Nike check sold on them, but they're made by a company in Green Bay. So it's not like we could just swap our jersey and they call Nike and say, send me another Jones jersey. Like, our jerseys, if we get a hole in them, you get it sold up, you know what I mean? And, so you only have a handful of jerseys during the season.
So if you're so these guys on a massive road losing streak, they're staring at the stars at night with holes in their pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens like that sometimes, man. You got to go to Marge. Marge is the best seamstress in the world, man. She'll sew it up.
That's her name is Marge?
Marge,
Marge the seamstress?
Marge will sew it up for you, and your jersey will look brand new.
What? This is amazing.
The cheese isn't the only thing with holes in it.
No.
Wow.
Nice.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
that's James Jones, some quality information. At 89 Jones, NTAF, which stands for...
Never think about failure.
Okay, we're going to make sure about that. And see James tonight on the Power Ranking Show on NFL Network, 6 Eastern, and then Wednesday, Total Access, 7 Eastern.
Yes, sir.
Love to have you, sir. Anytime.
Thanks for having me.
Always enjoy our chats. That's James Jones here. Well, when we come back, great old gen stat from last night. Wait till you hear it. Quality stuff. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. Scott Boras will be joining us as well coming up on The Rich Eisen Show to talk about the Bryce Harper hot stove.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.